From Niagara Falls.
My question is to the Premier. Ontario pay more by far for auto insurance than anywhere else in the country. This government promised that they would reduce auto insurance rates by 15% within 2 years. That was over 2 years ago. A recent York University business study of insurance rates found that over the same 2 years, Ontarians were overbilled their auto insurance to a tune of $1.5 billion. Ouch. That's outrageous. Mr. Speaker, will this government commit today to reduce auto insurance rates by 15%?
Premier, Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, this government has been committed to find ways to reduce the cost of claims and reduce ultimately the premiums of those claims. It was the member opposite and his party that actually delayed the ability for us to provide for those programs and legislation to enable those reductions. That is taking place, and we'll continue to do what's necessary to support a very sustainable, lower-cost industry. It's not about reducing rates at one point in time, but being able to enable the industry to have lower costs on an ongoing basis. We have reduced rates substantively. We have to do better, and as a result of recent legislation that we put forward, it's starting to happen, and we continue to fight for those consumers and for our ratepayers. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, the fact is this government isn't anywhere near their slated commitment of 15% reduction in auto insurance rates for consumers. The minister responsible have gone from promising to reduce the rates by 15% in 2 years to no longer committing to a timeline. Wow. That's because this government is placing too much emphasis on reducing costs for the insurance companies today, while it waits and sees the approach for Ontario leaves people struggling to keep their cars on the road. Mr. Speaker, will the Premier commit today by reducing outrageous auto insurance rates for all Ontarians by 15% immediately? You have a majority government. You can do it right away.
Thank you. Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, just last week I announced the ability to reduce rates by an additional 5 to 10% through installing winter tires, for example. We've also took steps to reduce dispute resolutions. We took steps to protect consumers with respect to the amount of payment of interest that they have on monthly costs, all of which enables consumers to pay less and enables those insurance companies to charge less. I also encourage the member opposite to tell his constituent and others that it is a competitive industry, well over 100 companies offering insurance, and you have to give them an opportunity to shop around, because when they do, they'll be able to find even greater reductions, because some insurance companies have reduced their rates by 10 and 15% already. Some have not. I encourage them to shop around and ensure that they get the best rate they can, and in the meantime, we will continue to find ways to reduce those costs by the programs that we put in place, including the elimination of storage costs, Mr. Speaker.